Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to our monthly webinar. We still have a couple of minutes, so we will just hang out and wait for everyone to get logged in. Welcome everyone that's joining us. We will start here in about a minute and a half. Okay, I see more and more joining us. Welcome everyone to our monthly webinar. Let me share my screen. If you want to tell us where you're tuning in from, you can use the chat feature at the bottom. If you have questions along the way, please feel free to put those into either the Q&A or the chat. And if we don't pick up the questions at the time you send them in, there will be time at the end here for Q&A. We'll give it about 20 more seconds. All right, we got some people from the coast tuning in from the Oregon coast. So people actually all over the country will be tuning in. I know we have someone from Boston. Holly, where are you tuning in from?
I'm tuning in from Salem, Oregon.
All right.
I'm home. I work from home.
Well, that's fun. I think that's the new normal for a lot of us.
Yeah.
I see the trees in the background.
Yep. You can see the trees, sunshine, birdies.
Yes, the cold, brisk mornings out here. All right, so let me, I am sharing my screen, yes. So welcome everyone to, again, our monthly webinar series. This month, we thought with the holidays coming around and a time for family and spending time with your family and spreading love, we thought a fun topic would be your love letter for a lasting legacy. So I'm excited to dig into this subject and explore what this is more. So today our agenda will be, we're going to go through some quick introductions, and then we're going to talk about your financial legacy, and then we'll dive into your love letter for a lasting legacy. And then, like I said before, we'll have some time at the end for some Q&A. I am Julia Carlson. I'm the CEO and founder here at Financial Freedom Wealth Management Group. And today I have a very special guest with me. We have Reverend Holli Rajaratnam. So Holli, say hello.
Hello.
You also may recognize her last name. So yes, she is married to Chandran, our president, and she also is a part of our team. But today she's joining us in a different capacity. She is an ordained ministerial counselor. She wrote her book, The Story of Her. You can find that on her website as well as Amazon. She is a facilitator and a clinical esthetician. And to learn more about her, here is her website. So Holli, before we get started here, I wanted to just have you say a few things. And what is the difference between maybe a counselor and how you've been trained and a therapist?
Okay, well, I help people remove the obstacles that lead to peace of mind. I help them discover and overcome limited thinking and beliefs that don't provide peace. A therapist offers and prescribes treatments. A counselor offers advice, wisdom, and points out what oftentimes cannot be seen, but really the two terms are interchangeable. Counseling is typically more short-term than long-term, such as therapy. However, counselors, much like sponsors in AA, can assist a patient or a client for many years.
I see. Excellent. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more, just a little history behind Financial Freedom Wealth Management Group. We were founded in 2000. We are an independent wealth management firm, and we provide customized and tailored planning solutions to individuals, families, business owners, and executives. Here is our beautiful team. We are all located in Oregon across 2 different offices, and then we have more offices that we visit and will not currently meet clients in, but in the future we will. I have confidence we will get back to that. Our commitment is to care deeply about you and your financial life. And today, I think that that is what we're going to really dive deeply into, is how do we help you create the legacy that you desire for your family? We serve clients all over the country. Currently, we are in 30 states. We have a team of 6 wealth advisors and 10 support staff. And like I said, we have 6 physical locations in Oregon and Southwest Washington. Okay, so let's transition into the financial legacy. You know, when we think about estate planning, most commonly we think about death and taxes and what happens when we pass. But we want to encourage you that instead, it is really about the legacy that you leave behind when you are no longer there to help your family. Coping with the death of a loved one is difficult. My grandmother has passed in the last month, and you know, just thinking about death and losing a loved one, you know, we all go through the process differently, but it's difficult to, you know, work through those stages. We constantly encourage our clients to make sure that they have completed the estate plan, all these different things that you see on the screen, prior to their death. And this typically involves working with an attorney to execute your will, your trust, the documents that you need to have in place to ensure that your financial assets transfer properly to your beneficiaries. It is estimated that 70% of wealthy families will lose their wealth by the 2nd generation, and 90% will lose it by the 3rd generation, which those are pretty big statistics. And we believe this happens because all too often we pass on the financial assets without telling the love story and the values that were learned building those assets along our loved one's life. And educating your beneficiaries and leaving a legacy with both financial assets, but also the intangible, which is what we're going to talk about today. These are important pathways for future generations to follow or to be guided by in order to make better decisions in life, both financially and non-financially. Getting the financial legacy in place helps the survivors tremendously. We've seen families that have had everything in order, and then we've also helped families that had nothing in order and no documents. And so it's definitely better to have those things in place. But even with that, we often see a void in that plan. And that void, we feel potentially could be, filled with a love letter. And it might help your surviving loved ones heal. So let's move into discussing more about the love letter. So what is a love letter? That's what we're here to talk about today. Simply, your love letter is a gift of life learnings, of memories, of stories, of advice. It is a legacy for the living, filled with all the important things to serve as a roadmap for your family to follow. A legacy is a part of you that lives on long after you're gone. So we believe that that love letter should be included as an essential document in your estate plan. Your financial story is never going to move someone like a love story will. Your love letter will challenge you to take care of your legacy. And it holds the unmentioned, unseen details that connects all of us. So with that, I am going to bring on Holly here and let her kind of take us deeper into this.
Okay, thank you, Julia. Can a letter left behind for our loved ones who find themselves experiencing loss really facilitate healing? Yes, it can. Having a deeper awareness of what is below the surface, and in this case of what appears to be simplistic, is, I believe, important. So let's set the stage with a simple exercise. I am going to unfold this letter, and as I do, see if you can sense a change within yourself, if ever so slightly, as a result of the words that I speak. Oh, there's a bunch of words in here. Angel, taco, zero, queer, happy, recess, bigot, Eeyore, symbol, moist, Ferrari, religion, sunny, intercourse, forgiveness, snow. A heart, looks like energy, and a musical note. Death, departed, expired, transformed, deceased, dead, died, gone, slipped or passed away, sleeping. The unfolding of what is presented in each moment, specifically with words, either by hearing or reading a word, generates a new feeling, new energy, a new way of being, simply by the word presented in each moment. Let's take a look at each component. Death. Death is the absence of what was. Any type of loss, really, but certainly death of the one that we love, leaves us feeling lost, alone, separate, and incomplete. We feel the absence, the emptiness within our hearts as death and loss create space. People say things like, as they gesture as if to comfort themselves, I feel as if something has been ripped away, or I feel empty. This emptiness is real. It's the result of a loss of energy that was created as a result of death. Death creates space. The second component, our heart. Our hearts manufacture energy that produce emotions and feelings that carry information. Think of it this way. Our hearts are the orchestra of our feelings, and if those feelings are not allowed to be expressed, discord, havoc, and disharmony happens, and we suffer. Suffering is felt when we use our will to hold back and suppress the notes of the music, the orchestra, our heart desperately wants to play. Our heart, the orchestra, yearns to be heard. Imagine a trumpet or a flute. Imagine a violin or a harp not being able to do what it was designed to do, to be played, to be heard, to be felt. Our hearts are designed to experience the high notes as well as the low notes. High meaning glorious, exemplary, dazzling. Low meaning atrocious, disturbing, and also sorrowful. And all the various notes in between. We were created to experience. We call these notes emotions, and we experience the notes as feelings, and then we categorize these notes, these feelings, with words. And what about words? We assign words to everything. We give names to everything. We think in words, we speak in words, we say, you can say that word, but do not say that word. And we assign words to musical scores that an orchestra plays. And these sounds, especially combined with words, move us. Imagine, how might the film The Bodyguard feel without Whitney Houston singing the words to the song, I Will Always Love You? Or what would the Wizard of Oz be if Dorothy had never sung the words to Somewhere Over the Rainbow? How about the song Cats in the Cradle? Dad, too busy to spend time with his son. Son grows up and now he is too busy to spend time with dad. Or how about Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven? That's an energy producer. His son Connor, who was 4 years old, fell from the 53rd floor of a New York City high-rise. He used words to express his feelings. The words alone could have healed him. However, the collaboration with the power of the orchestra accompanying the words took him, and I presume all those who heard the song, to a place where what we felt surpassed understanding. All we understand is that we were moved, we were changed. One more. Listen to Dolly Parton sing Mary, Did You Know? And just wait for it. You may feel as I did. I felt as if I had been spring-loaded and sprung up over the moon. I felt as if I was soaring higher and higher to a place that surpasses all understanding. Words have power. Words usher in through our hearts new experiences, new feelings, new energy. Words fill space. We may not be singers or musicians. Nonetheless, we have words, and we can string our words together to create. Words, our words, can facilitate the healing process. Words can heal. Fair warning, words also can utterly obliterate. So the stage is set, and there's our loved ones standing before us. When they are physically near us, there is an energy created from the union of who we are together. We feel them. We feel this as a result of the merging of our awareness of one another. We literally feel a specific energy. That's what feelings are. Feelings are energy. We feel the specific energy as a new way of being when we are with and around the person we love. We know this energy as the feeling we experience when all we have to do is glance at them. The instant we see them, the energy begins to pour out of our heart. Our eyes twinkle and shine. We may get butterflies, we smile, we giggle as this energy bubbles up within us. This energy, as it meets their energy, creates an explosive new way of being as it comes alive. It's like a supernova has been created. It's an entity. Who we are together becomes an entity. Who we are together becomes a distinct and independent reality. So then, what happens when one of those energies is missing? When our loved one no longer exists in form, we feel the finality as we realize that the person who we loved, who once lived and moved and breathed within the body we once smelled, touched, held, kissed, laughed with and cried over, no longer exists. And with that also, the finality of the feelings and energy that once was is no longer. It is literally impossible for us to ever be the same. Our loved one was the catalyst for a way of being, and that way of being no longer exists. It is a very painful experience to lose what has become a part of our identification, a part of ourselves it feels has vanished forever. No wonder loss is layered. Grief, the energy of grief is now what remains and is taking place of what once was the most pleasant way of feeling and being. To heal from loss, to heal from the death of someone we love, it is always in our best interest to feel and consistently allow the movement of all energies to move and pass through us. If grief is allowed to remain within us and make itself home within us, then obviously grief and its companions, depression, lethargy, sadness, is what we identify with and radiate. So to facilitate healing, as grueling as it may feel, we must allow an unfolding to take place in order to accept new energy, a new reality. And this will help us move through the layers of grief. And in a way, this is a metaphor for birth. This is a beginning. And literally, birth is painful. Beginnings can be painful. Women, we know this to be true. Men, you are the witnesses to this pain. And as a result, both experience pain as the consequence of birth. Be certain of this. Pain is pain. There is no hierarchy in pain. And let me remind you, behind pain follows joy. Just as night is followed by day, spring follows winter, resurrection follows death. Everything changes, everything shifts as a result of energy, including our pain. Pain is energy. We all experience pain. And what's significant about pain is that it's a solitary experience. And mostly, this is a solitary time for our loved one left behind, who is now experiencing feelings associated with our absence. So what can we do, if anything, to help our loved one during this mostly solo journey? What can we do to help them move through the experience of grief that our departure has created? The answer or answers are found within, but naturally we look outward as we look inside the many sacred volumes of inspired writings, philosophies, teachings, and scriptures. We look for perspectives that can usher in a new awareness that helps us to move forward as we step out from the pain of grief. We look to words. We look to words, hoping to find wisdom and solace to accompany us on this newfound path we find ourselves upon, yet not wanting to walk down. We may look to quotes and mantras and revered proverbs. We take comfort in hymns and prayers that inspire us to consider our experience. Words have power. Words influence. Words move and shape us. Words can heal our hearts. The author, Dr. Andrew Newberg, wrote, "A single word has the power to influence the expression of genes that regulate physical and emotional stress." A single word has the power to influence the expression of genes. What does that mean? That means a single word can send me flying or bring me to my knees. A single word. I'm going to presume that you're familiar with the parable, the Bible parable, the Good Samaritan. That parable isn't just a story about being kind to the stranger or being a good neighbor. It is also about a word and the inability to say a word. If you're curious, have a look. It's there, just beneath the surface. Words contain power and they store energy. So again, what can we do to help facilitate the healing of our loved one who is now moving through this new and painful experience without us? One seemingly simple yet mighty act we can do is to write a letter and fill it with our words. We can fill our letter with assuring, comforting, loving words. We can fill it with helpful information, facts, and frivolities. This is your time to share whatever comes to mind that may bring peace of mind. This is your time to share the wisdom that you've collected over the years that you've experienced. You can share memories, write about adversities and challenges, and then triumph. You can thank them for all the times they were with you when you felt the world was at its worst, or write about the times they covered you with unrehearsed kisses. Write about long-held and ridiculous and possibly dreadful family traditions, recipes, maybe a joke or two. King Solomon said, "Laughter is good medicine." And through the act of writing your words, it may help because your words may bring tears or laughter to the surface. Tears and laughter bring forth energy, and this gets things moving and unfolding. Now, again, sharing frustrations and messy stuff is okay too, although this is not the time to air grievances. Remember, words have the power to heal, and likewise, words have the power to harm. The stage is yours and the stage is bare. So go forth and write, compose, dance, do a cartwheel or two across the page. Yes, the content does matter, but not so much as the love that is felt as a result of the act of writing the letter. In the Gospel of Thomas, we are reminded of the consequence of not bringing forth that which is within you. As he states, if you bring forth that which is within you, it will save you. If you do not, it will destroy you. In writing this letter, you are facilitating the healing of your loved one. Your written words may lift them, taking them soaring above the pain and the turmoil of the experience that has left them feeling dreadful and deficient. Your letter may, in fact, stimulate the creation of a brand new energy and feelings associated with peace for possibly generations to come. To get you started, we have a 2-page list of questions that you can answer. These questions or these answers may inspire and provide content to go into your letter of love, your love letter.
Thank you, Holly. That was wonderful.
You're welcome.
You know, it's hard to put ourselves there, I think, sometimes, and actually write a letter to our loved ones, assuming that we're dead. So it's hard. It's hard. So I just want to acknowledge that, but oh, so powerful. And when I we have worked with a lot of widows, both men and women, that I have seen tattoos of the handwriting of their loved ones on their arms, right? It's we hold onto all the notes and the cards, but imagine if you did have this intentional letter to just cling to. And I know I'm finding letters from my grandmother, you know, just seeing, I have some in type form, I have some in written form. And it just, seeing her actual writing is special. Because I know that, you know, yes, even typing can be special, but I think just seeing those words that she wrote to me is just powerful. It's like you said, it's healing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so we're all not writers here, but I wanna encourage us. Our hope today is that you do schedule some time, put some time into actually using our guide and writing this letter for your loved ones. So Holly, I wanted to ask, what would be some practical tips? Like if they're feeling stuck, other than going to this guide, but what would be kind of the how-to, the practical steps?
To begin, remember that you're just going to start a draft. And so you want to tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Simply tell them what you're going to tell them. Then tell them. And then tell them what you have told them. And when I say tell, I specifically mean write. Write down what you're going to tell them. And then tell them. Again, this is a draft, so you're going to be erasing, you're going to be adding, you're going to be subtracting, and it will be messy, and that's okay. You may go through 7 or 8, or it doesn't matter how many drafts, but tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them what you've told them.
Excellent. And I also want to, everyone that is on the webinar today, or if you're seeing this on the replay for the next month, you'll have the chance, if you text the word fun to 33777, you will actually receive the PDF that includes these questions to help get you writing, answering questions. It helps to have a springboard of getting your creative juices flowing and those memories coming back. So if we would love for you to get this resource. You could go ahead and text the word fun to 33777. And with that, what I'm going to do is open it up for questions, and just any question is good. We'll take a good stab at it. And while we wait for those questions to come in, So you and I both are fans of a Netflix series, Crown. And do you want to share, there was a really beautiful example that you shared with us about a love letter?
Sure. So there was an article that was written about the royal families, and specifically this was about Princess Alice, Prince Philip's mother, who he had a very difficult relationship with. And she at some point became a nun, and she was living in a convent that had become dilapidated, and left that, and now was living with him. And it was, again, a source of pain and embarrassment to have his mom there. She was a descendant of the Romanovs, and the Romanovs had seen, were eyewitness accounts of horror, terrible violence within their family, where they were gunned down. It was a horrible, violent, bloody scene. And so as a result of this trauma, she was diagnosed by Freud with schizophrenia, and she was used as practice for electrical treatments, things like that, just yucky stuff. Anyway, a reporter came to do a report on the royal family and saw her and did a beeline to her without the Crown's permission, decided to interview her. And of course, Philip was all upset about it because, of course, what in the world is his mother going to say? She's crazy. This is his thinking. So the article came out, and he was reading it, and he described what the reporter wrote based on the words that she told him as a love letter. And it did indeed help to heal his relationship with his mother.
Yeah, that's beautiful. There we go.
Yeah.
So a question we received is, what are your thoughts on doing it as a video versus writing it? Ooh, that's a great question.
My thoughts about doing anything is do it if it brings you joy. Whatever you do, do it if it brings you joy. If it brings you happiness, if you're passionate about it, that passion and that joy will move through you, and they will feel that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's, I would say, so I would say that too. I think they're going to hold on to, whether it's a video, a letter, they're going to hold and cherish that. So I would say either way, any motive.
Yes, and I'm told that people like to look at people. So yes, as much as we want to sometimes not be seen or just have our voices heard, our loved one, when they have a visual of us, they may remember the little nuances that otherwise they would not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, where can people, if people are having a hard time with, is this something that you would be able to help them kind of work through and help create?
I can, yes.
All right, so
I'd be happy to. It's yes, it's depending on how deep they want to go, I can go as deeply as they'd like. It's very personal. Depending on how deep they want to go, it can be very personal.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I'm happy to help with that process.
All right. Well, again, if you want more information on Holli and the work that she does, please visit healingwithher.com. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for attending. And I can't move forward here. Hold on. There we are. There's the thank you for attending slide. And we'll stick around here if you have any more questions. But if not, we wish you a very happy holiday season. And we will be back here in January with our first of the year monthly webinar series. So thank you, Holli, for being here.
Thank you very much, Julia.
Okay, we're getting a lot of, I know you can't see these comments, Holly, but they're saying thank you. Happy holidays to us. Thank you. That was wonderful. Thank you. Lots to think about. Yes.
Mhm.
Good. It is a lot to think about. All right. Thanks, everyone.